Wrong button. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Today, I think what we're going to do is I'm going to show everybody how to set up a server on GPortal. And not just any server. Today, we're working with the Arc servers and stuff like that. But through GPortal, you don't only have to go through with an Arc server. You can go with a Conan Exile server, Minecraft servers, Atlas clusters, all sorts of cool things. The Arc PC servers, Arc PS4 servers. Unfortunately, they don't have Arc Xbox. But yeah. All right, but also they've got a whole bunch of different ones. As new games come out, they're always adding new games to it, and then they'll have big advertisement pages right on the front that show you exactly which servers they're coming out. But they're really good about having the servers ready the day that the game comes out. It's really cool. But today we're going to be focused on an Arc server, and more specifically an Arc Aberration server, because servers, we're currently doing a playthrough where we do the story mode challenge as they go through and they progress. And they started the island and then they went to Scorched Earth. Now we've got some groups that are actually going into Aberration. So now, what better time to actually go in and show people how to set up a new server than when we actually need it. So what we're going to be doing is setting up one server just with a few people. We don't need to have a bunch, but there's also one thing I think I need to cover before we jump into these things, because as you can see, I've got a whole bunch of servers. Now I've got over 200 people that go through and they play on all my servers. It's quite a lot of people. You notice that the amount of players on each of these servers, it's not super high. But say if you have a group of like 10 people, if they play at all times, yes, you do need a 10-person server. But if you've got, people in the UK, you've got people in Africa, you've got people in Australia, you've got people in the United States, you've got people up in Canada, all sorts of different places, people down in Brazil, they're not all going to be on at the same time. And if you've got a really big server, you really don't need to have, say like 100 slots for 100 people. That's not how it works. Matter of fact, the more people you have playing on a server, the less slots you need, kind of, or the less percentage of slots you need is what I should say, to be more precise. Because say if you have 15 players, you need at least a 10-person, maybe even a 12 slot server for that. But if you were going to set up a server for say like 100 people and they're all around the world, you really only need about 40 slots for that server, because not all of those people are going to be on at the same time. Not all those people are going to be super hyper focused on being in and playing all the time. That's how that works. If you make a server for 100 people and then you make it a 40-slot server and then you run out, then you add about 5 more slots at a time just to see how everything goes, everything like that. That's how that works. So technically on this 30-slot server that we've got right here, this right here will house probably about 50, maybe 60 players at one time going through all the time. Sometimes it can get up to about 70, 75, because those 30 slots, those are just active slots, people currently logged in at the time. Yeah, that's how that works. All right, so let's jump into creating this server, and let's figure this out. All right, so the first thing that you want to do when you log into GPortal, you'll be presented with this page. This is the GPortal home page once you're logged into your account. All right, and you'll have my servers, you'll have settings, you'll have recharge credit, so you can recharge all your funding for when it automatically gets paid every month. And then you have support. GPortal support, top notch. Serious, it's really good stuff. All right, this right here is their game servers, creator bundles. They've got a bunch of cool stuff, and then they've got the forum and the wiki just in case you have different questions about setting up servers, different problems with the servers. Yeah, if you go to the forum, you can't find your problem on a server, all you have to do is submit a ticket. Trust me, they're really good. Anthony and Brad, they kick butt. All right, so let's get to the point. This is where I'll stop rambling, and let's just add a server. So from there, you go and you click My Servers, and then you go down right here, and then down here at the bottom of the My Servers page, it'll list all the servers on the left-hand side that you have, and then also whichever game cloud that you have. I've got one on the US West, one on the US East. Those ones really don't matter, and I will cover some more of that possibly later. All right, but from there, all you do is go down and you click this Add Server button. And then as soon as you add the server, it'll come up and it'll ask you what kind of server you want to add. And you need to pay very close attention to either the PS4 or just the regular. Now the PS4, that's a PS4 server, so we don't want to open up a PS4 server right now. We want to open up a PC server. So let's click into this right here. All you do is go up, you choose your slots. I've got 10 slots available. Bam, let's go with that. Your order is complete. You will be redirected in a few seconds. All right, so now we get into like this, and then we've got a whole list of all of our servers. Now this one right here, it's a bit confusing. There's another couple servers where you can go, another couple ones, but since we've got this like this, let's just go, bam, click back on my server. All right, so once that you click the server and you buy the server, it'll immediately take you to this screen, or a screen that has all the different icons coming out. It's one of the two. Sometimes GPortal can't decide, but they're transitioning to this screen. So where if you see this screen, it's normal, all right? Now, once that you buy the server, it'll install the server. Sometimes it takes a little bit. I actually brought you guys back after it installed it. Just let it sit. There will be a little bar that goes up the side, and then once that's done, you'll be presented with this. Now all you do is just click into this, and then this is your server. So now that you've got this, this will be the main page. It'll tell you how much CPU and how much RAM is allocated to your server, but right now none of that will actually be running because the server is offline. All right, so now before we even turn the server on, we want to click in, we want to go to basic settings. So now we're going to go like this. You start out with server name. Now from server name, you can name it whatever you want. I'm just going to go with there we go. Story mode challenge aberration. Now, you go down. Now, there's the number of slots. Now, from here, if you have more slots available, you can actually change that on the fly right there. And we're going to go through. We're going to select whichever map we want to go with. We go with aberration. As soon as we select the map, you want to immediately save it, and then you want to turn it on, because there's a few different things that's going to have to update to your server. And then while this is turning on, it's going to cycle, it's going to install the aberration map, it's going to do the initial spawn of dinos, but don't worry about it. Once you have everything going, once the server is completely up and going, you're going to want to shut it back off and then go back through and start making the rest of your little changes. So after everything's cycled, I'll bring you guys back and I'll show you, talk to you in a minute. All right, and we're back, and the server is ready to go, and of course my voice is cracking because it's early in the morning and I still need coffee. Hold on one sec. Okay, so now that everything's going, now all you want to do is just turn this off. And then a lot of times when you're setting up a server, a lot of people, if it's your first time server, they'll be like, hey, the server's online, it's ready to jump on. No, they're not. You still have a few more things to do, so don't get a bunch of people onto your server while you're doing this, because you're going to be turning on and off your server a bunch as soon as it first starts like this. All right, so now that we've got the name, and of course, you know, I realized that after special consideration from one of my admins, they realized I was naming it wrong and informed me of the proper naming procedure. So there it is, Foo Fighters, complete aberration. All right, so now we go down, and then from here, you can either set up a server password, an admin password, a spectator password, but for now, we really don't want to mess with that because I actually use the whitelist system, and I'll show you guys how to use that as well. But if you want a password to join your server, right here's where you put it in, and it can be anything that you want. You could type in hergibity, and yeah. But just remember that every time somebody logs into your server, they have to type that out. And sometimes hergibity can't be the easiest thing to type. All right, and then the admin password, this right here is exactly the same thing. But it enables your people that you have on the server to use admin abilities. They have to type it on the server every single time. All right, same thing with the spectator password. Now the set a password for spectators, kick idle players after X seconds. This right here is just for AFK people, stuff like that. And scrolling down here, let's go to message of the day, the message everybody gets. The moment they log into the server, I always set up something, you know, I try to go with a little bit of humor for each time. It's usually overridden by a couple of my admins, but I try to squeak in what I can eventually, and then it'll slowly get changed over time. And then we'll go with like, let's see. All right, there we go. And he'll see that and he'll eventually change it. He always does. All right, so, and then now we go down, just scroll down a little bit. And then the duration moded, the moded actually is message of the day. And then this displays it for 20 seconds the moment somebody logs in. All right, now we go down for the whitelist, where it says whitelist right here. That's not what I use for my whitelist. So the whitelist is not the whitelist, which is the whitelist, which isn't the whitelist. So it's not used for the whitelist. And I'm going to go cross-eyed if I continue with that. But we're just not going to be discussing this whitelist section because I don't use that for my whitelists. All right, so admin access. This right here is whenever you post somebody's Steam ID in here. Whenever somebody logs on your server, if their Steam ID is inside this little section right here, this one right here, they will have instant admin access. They do not have to put in the admin password at all, right? Now, the ban list, if somebody's Steam ID is in here, they are not allowed access to your server. The moment they try to join it, they'll immediately be booted. Okay. Now, how I use my whitelist, I use the exclusive join section right here. So I'm going to click that and turn that on. And then I go through and I paste every single one of the Steam ID 64s for all of my patrons inside this spot right here. And this allows everybody to join the server without inputting a password, without anything. And if you don't have a Steam ID on this, you will not be able to join at all. Yeah. All right, so let's lower that down. Now, some of these other ones we're going to be browsing we're going to be going through really quickly, just kind of glossing over some of the things because there's a lot of settings here. All right, so let's see. Server game log, not necessary. Activate battle light, sometimes it's best turned off. Activate fact, sometimes pretty best. Now, active event. Now, you'll also notice that a lot of the stuff in here is, you might think it's misspelled. It's not really misspelled. It's in German. All right, so because GPortal is actually a German company and they're still in the process of translating a bunch of the stuff coming over to the States. It's okay. No, matter of fact, I actually kind of enjoyed it a little bit. All right, so now from here, the active event, you can turn on any of the different events that are active in Arc. Just remember that once it's going, you have to come back in later and then manually turn it back off. All right, so now let's go down to a few more. Notify admin commands in chat. This is whenever an admin uses an admin ability, it will blast it through chat and it will tell everybody on the server in big, bold, yellow lettering that an admin command was used. It's actually really good if you're on PvP servers and stuff like that. It's really cool. All right, now broadcast messages. These right here are whenever you restart your server or shut down your server, it will display a warning. So you can set it for 10 minutes, you can set it for 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, all the way down to 1 second. And then you can put in a separate message. You can have a list of 5 different ones. Say if we want in 10 minutes it's going to shut down, we will go with there we go. We can do that, and then all you do is just click add, and that will put that down here. And then you can go through and you can select another one for 5 minutes, and then you can put in another one just like that. So where you have a 5 minute, you have a 10 minute, you can go all the way down to 1 second on that. It's pretty cool. All right, so now in the travel section, now we get into how to cluster your servers, how to allow access to dinosaurs being uploaded, downloaded, characters being uploaded, downloaded, items being uploaded, downloaded, all sorts of different uploading and downloading features. All right, so if you activate the travel, this right here, it allows people to transfer onto your server. All right, and then you go down, and if you want to combine this with another server, if you want to cluster it, this is the cluster ID that you have to paste into the other server. But you can change this. The cluster ID can be anything you want. Once again, it can be Hergivity if you want. Just have to make sure that the other server has the exact same Hergivity with the exact same spelling in that one, and then that will connect the 2 servers through GPortal. It's pretty cool. All right, so then we go down to prevent download survivors, download items, download dinos, prevent upload survivors, prevent upload items, prevent upload dinos. This right here will stop people from being able to transfer this type of item into and out of your server. But also, there's another very important one. This right here is the one that I like to stress the most. No transfer from filtering. This right here means that if it is not on your cluster, it's not getting in. So somebody from single player can't raise a level 10 million T-Rex and upload it to your server and start going around and demolishing everything. Yeah, so I always have no transfer from filtering active on all my servers. All right, and then the cross arc allow foreign dino downloads. This right here allows, non-aberration. It's just exactly what it says. A lot of this stuff, they have all the descriptions down below. All right, now going into gameplay, how to set up all the different little things for gameplay. We're going to be glossing through a lot of this because a lot of it is kind of self-explanatory. But say like allow third person for your server. This allows people to just zoom out so where they're not always in first person. Then server PvE, this is one we're probably going to be discussing just a little bit. Matter of fact, we're going to be discussing, actually, hold on, prepare yourself. We're about to be discussing the difference between PvE and PvP. All right, so now that you've fully prepared yourself, grab some coffee, held onto your butt. All right, the differences between PvP and PvE. I always run PvP servers because it allows you to do picking up with dinos. It allows you to carry things with an Argent without having to engage it. It allows people to shoot other people in the face with tranq darts. It allows a whole bunch of stuff. Now on my servers, everybody's in one tribe. So where the PvP aspect really isn't a big deal, but it still allows for a lot of mischievous fun. It's really cool. Now, if you turn on PvE, you're not allowed to pick up dinos unless you designate it in here. You're not allowed to shoot people in the face. You're not allowed to build in some places. There's a whole bunch of different things that is active when the server is on PvE mode. But that's why I don't even worry about it. I just keep it on PvP. It doesn't activate any of this stuff, and then I go through, and then everybody has a bunch of fun shooting everybody else in the face with tranq darts. It's really cool. All right, so now we go down to the next one that I really want to cover, the server hardcore. Unless if you really want a massive hardcore server, don't turn that on. This enables Iron mode for our Iron Man mode on all your servers, which means that once you die, you have to create a new character. Yeah, I never, ever turn that on. All right, and then let's gloss down to a few more things because a bunch of this stuff is really kind of not necessary. And then, disable friendly fire. No, we need those tranq darts to the face. But another one that we need to go through, let's see, scroll down. It's admin logging, global voice chat, proximity voice chat. No. Keep scrolling, and then, I don't like being notified every single time somebody logs on and logs off the server. Show player map location. This shows your location on the map. Difficulty offset. I always go 1.0 on this. All right, now I always, this right here, the difficulty offset 1.0, that just tells it to go to the maximum difficulty that it's allowed. All right, but if you go with the, if you like level 180 dinosaurs, you need to go over what's normal. So that's in the override official difficulty. And then everything on Ark is it's a multiplicative of 30. All right, so if you have your difficulty at override difficulty 1 puts your max level dinos at level 30. Override difficulty 2 puts them at 60. Override difficulty 3 puts them at 90, and then 120, and then 150, and then 180, and then 210, then 240, 270, 300. Yeah. But for this one right here, we're just going with difficulty 5. That means that all the dinosaurs are in increments of 5 going all the way up. So when they cap out at the multiplicative of 30, it will put them at 150. Yes. Hopefully I didn't lose everybody on that. I'm sorry. But yeah, a 5.0 puts max levels at 150. Okay, and then we go down through a bunch of this little stuff. Loud flyer carrying, we don't need to turn that on because we're a PvP server, so we already have that on. Now, enable PvP gamma, turning that off because we don't want that on there. All right, disable PvE gamma, okay. And then on the day-night cycles, sometimes you can change these. Just remember that the lower number is the better. And I'll give you a slight little bit here because on Soling the Ark, I actually go like this for everything. That right there is the settings that I use for Soling the Ark. So where you have a really, really fast nighttime and a longer day, and your days are actually twice as long. So I have a bunch of recording time. But on the regular servers, we just go like this for the most part. But sometimes we will actually do the Soling the Ark server settings. Yes. And then also, if you're on big servers like ours, you need to have a really high max level of dinos. It's important. All right, and then let's scroll down a little bit. PvE, disable friendly fire, disable PvE, dino DK. No, let's just keep scrolling down till there's a few of them that we need to change. Let's see. No, we don't want to disable imprint dino buff. Oh, no, we want that one on, but not that one on. All right, let's see. Override structure platform prevention. This is... Hold on, no, that's not the correct one. Let's keep going down. Dino rate feeding, allow hit markers. Server crosshair, we definitely need that on. Keep scrolling. The use corpse locator, that's a good one. All right, disable structure placement collision. This one right here is the important one. This is the one that allows all your stuff to have the be able to snap into the framework of the map. So if you don't have this checked, you're gonna have the original snapping points of Ark. But if you have this checked, if you turn that on, you're gonna be able to build some really cool stuff. You're gonna be able to have ramps that go into the ground, foundations that you can kind of slide under the ground, stuff like that. It allows really good building. So let's go with that. Use single player settings. This right here basically gives everybody superpowers. I don't like to have that turned on. All right, let's see, keep going down. And then from here, you can go through. You can fiddle with all sorts of stuff. You can disable the weather fog. You can make random supply crates. Be careful, though, with this random supply crates one, because it will actually make your supply crates completely random, and a lot of times they'll just go into the ground and you can't get them. All right. Let's see. Keep going down. Restrictions. And then also, a lot of times on this, like max number of players in tribe 0, the 0 actually turns this function off. Say if you want people with small tribes, only 3 people tribes, you can put 3 in there as the max amount of people in the tribe. But by putting 0, it allows you to have as unlimited amount. All right, let's see. Use optimize harvesting health. Creative mode. All right, so now we're getting down into the nitty-gritty. This is the fine-tuning stuff of the Ark server, is all the stuff that's in the advanced section. So now we're going to get down in here. Most of this stuff we actually keep on 1 for the dino damage multiplier, the player resistance multiplier. If anybody's ever logged into single player, they know where all these settings came from. They pulled right from the single player, so where you can fine-tune everything. But how we always do this... We go through and we slowly increase everything. Pretty much it's about the same as what we use on Soling the Ark. And then, let's see, harvest amount multiplier. This right here is the amount that you can harvest. So we're at 2 times. Taming speed multiplier, we tame it 4 times. Let's see. Keep scrolling down. I encourage you to go through and then take very close attention to all of this. Now, there's way too many different bits in here for me to cover each and every one and keep the video below an hour. So I'm just gonna gloss over a bunch of these. But if you're setting up your server for the first time, go through here. If you have any questions, I have a link to my Discord down below. Lots of cool people in there, me included, that will answer any questions that you have about setting up these things. Got a lot of cool people in there. Everybody is really helpful, trust me. And then, let's see, mating interval multiplier. We actually have specific settings for these. I'm going to have to look them up. Give me 1 sec. All right, so my lovely companion, Vanessa Ryoden. See, she's wearing her little thing, right?
Should I wave my hands and point?
Yes, wave your hands, then show the buddy. Just be like, oh, yes, I have your mating interval multiplier right here. All right. All right, so what is it, Ryan?
Mating interval multiplier is 0.1.
Okay.
What's next?
At egg hatch speed.
Egg hatch speed is 30.
Okay. Baby mature speed.
50.
50. Okay, and then now there's another one that we have to go down to. It's Cuddle imprint. Let me find it.
Baby Cuddle interval multiplier.
There we go. Okay, and that is 0.0232, right?
Correct.
All right, everybody, give a round of applause for Vanessa Ryoden as she skirts herself up. I'm kidding. Thanks, Ryoden, man.
Like and subscribe.
Right. All right, and then another thing that Ryoden was telling me about is we need to go back up to max personal tame dinos. Let's see, it's back up here. Yeah, this one right here. This needs to be the same number that we set for the max tame dinos, which right here is 10,000. So let's go with that. Come down here, and then let's set this to 10,000. That's because on my servers, everybody's in one big tribe. So the max personal tamed, it's the amount of dinos that can actually be tamed in the tribe. So we go with 10,000. It's a lot of dinos. We usually have a lot of dinos running around on the servers. It's really cool. All right, so let's scroll all the way down. I think we've got most of this stuff done. There's some stuff that we want to go and add to the INI file, and we'll do that here really quick, or I'll show you guys how to access that in the INI file. But for the most part, we're done with this section unless we want to do a little bit more tweaking. I encourage you, if you want to have some wild server, go through here, set it to however you want. It's really cool. The way I set it up is just how I do my servers. So, yeah. All right, experiment, explore, and have fun. All right, now that we're done with this section, we'll click Save. And then from here, we go into configuration files. Now, this right here gets into the real nuts and bolts of the server. From here, we can go through, select the configuration file. You have access to the ban list, the exclusive join list, the players no join checklist, the game.ini, the game user settings ini, and then from here we also have a bunch of cool little stuff. We've got our presets that we've already have, or no, this is the primitive Scorched Earth game.ini and the primitive plus the island. I forgot. That's not our presets that we already have. We have those in the Discord. If you want those, come get them. We have stack sizes, all sorts of cool stuff. But if you want to change anything on the game.ini, the game user settings, this is where you go to. All you do is go to it, you select it, and then it'll pop open all the settings in your game.ini, and then you can go through and then you can make the little changes. Don't forget, once you're done, you click Save. All right, now that we've got that, let's go back to settings and let's turn this sucker on because our server is just about done. Now that we have the server turned on and ready to go, I want to make sure that everything has everything on it, but now that we've got that turned on, we've got that cycled, now we're going to jump into the very last part, which is mods. All right, so now that we've got the server cycled, we've got it back up and going. Every time you do changes to your server, I encourage you, turn it on and then turn it back off, and then do the rest of your changes that you need to do while the server's turned off. You can do a bunch of them while it's turned on, but if you have players on there and you click save, it's going to immediately restart that server, and it's going to boot everybody that's on there, which makes a very uncomfortable situation for everybody, trust me. Yeah, I've got a lot of experience doing this. All right, so now we're going to do mods. Let's go into mods. And then from here, you've got all sorts of different lists that you can go through. But you need to know the specific name for the mod that you want. So if say that we wanted to use Ryoden, what mods are we using currently on the servers?
The first one you should look for is Item Finder.
Okay, there we go. I've got on my drop down. Bam, submit that. All right, install that. And then if the mod hasn't been updated in a long time, you'll always see this mod may be too old and no longer compatible. Sometimes you need to pay attention to that, sometimes you don't. All just depends on how long it's been since the mod was updated. All right, so let's activate that one. What's the next one, Ryoden?
The next one is RP Visual Storage.
There we go. It's almost like I've searched for these before.
Almost.
I know, right? All right, next one.
The last is Eco's RP Decor.
There we go. All right, submit that one. All right, so now that we've got these on here, all we do is just activate all of them. And then you'll get this little pop-up. There are changes or updates to your mods. You have to restart your server to apply them. So let's do that right now. Let's turn this on. Oh, wait, the server is stopping on its own. All right, so we'll let the server stop on its own, and then once it's stopped, we'll restart it, and then I'll bring you guys back. All right, and we're back. And now that we've got the server completely up and going, we've got the mods installed. Now we just need to update the mods. Now all we have to do is click restart, and then voila. As soon as the server comes back up, we'll be ready to get some people on. We'll be able to get some people ready to play, having fun, enjoying their time on the server. It is actually really cool. All right, so anyway, that's gonna do it for the video. I hope this helped you set up the, figure out how to set up a server via the GPortal. And also, a lot of these settings, matter of fact, most of the settings go through just about every single server provider. It's just their UI is different. All right, so, hey, if you liked the video, make sure you click that like button. I really appreciate that. If you're new around here, subscribe. And until next time, this is Phlinger Phoo, and take it easy, everybody, and good luck setting up your server. Like I said again, want to reiterate, if you have any questions, come into Discord. Link is down below. Take it easy, everybody.